Back for another one. On this Nostalgia Talk Christmas bonus, I'm looking back on It's Christmastime Again, Charlie Brown. For almost 60 years, the Peanuts gang have always made us laugh this time of year. We all remember the classic Peanuts holiday special where Charlie Brown learned the true meaning of Christmas, and since then, we've had Peanuts specials focused on Halloween, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Easter, and even movie parodies. This one, It's Christmastime Again, Charlie Brown, was the second of 4 Christmas specials featuring Charlie Brown and friends, and was done up in a series of segments adapted from the original Peanuts comic. The special begins with Linus and Sally using a box as a sled. Sally points out how steep the hill is, but Linus insists that they'll be fine as long as Sally lean forward and jiggle her feet. But then Sally decides that she doesn't want to go sledding, so Linus decides to go on his own, but he goes the other way. After a second try, he trips as the box lands on top of a tree that Lucy and Sally have their eyes on, with Lucy commenting that the tree would look better with a star or angel on top instead of a box. I was talking to one of my friends about this the other day. She uses a star for her tree, and my family uses a Santa hat. And it's cute, but I think a star is a nice touch. Plus, it's probably what you'd expect. What about you guys? What do you usually have on the top of your Christmas trees for those of you who celebrate? Meanwhile, Charlie Brown is going from door to door trying to sell Christmas wreaths, with nobody buying for different reasons. Violet complains that it isn't even Thanksgiving yet, and the needles will fall off the wreath before Christmas, with Patty, not Peppermint Patty, a different character, pointing out the same, so Charlie Brown calls it a Thanksgiving wreath, but that doesn't get him anywhere either. He goes back to calling them Christmas wreaths, and Franklin complains that Charlie Brown is only adding to the commercialism of Christmas. He has better luck at his next house, but Frida takes it from him without buying it. And another one slams the door on him the moment he asks. Jeez. Sally agrees that Charlie is just creating more commercialism for Christmas, but offers to help. At the next house, Charlie holds the wreath up while Sally pitches the wreath by claiming that it was made from the famous Forest of Lebanon and offers an autographed photo of King Solomon, former king of Israel, for free if 2 wreaths are bought. But that doesn't work, and Charlie tells Sally that she can't lie to customers. So Sally tells the next customer that the wreath was made from some junky old branches my brother found in a Christmas tree lot, and that backfires too. Snoopy takes over for Charlie while Sally goes door to door instead of Charlie Brown, but that doesn't work either. Meanwhile, Peppermint Patty's teacher assigns the class reading homework over Christmas vacation, and she calls Charlie Brown for suggestions on how to get out of it. Luckily, Peppermint Patty found a loophole. She watches A Tale of Two Cities on TV so she doesn't have to read the book adaptation of it. While she enjoyed it, she looks back and wonders what coffee and shampoo had to do with it. Marcy explains to her that those were just commercials. Peppermint Patty then goes to plan B. Actually read a book, but remembers that her grandfather would often say that your head would fall off from reading too many books, so Marcy stays alert just in case. But it's too nice a day to stay inside reading, so Peppermint Patty goes outside to build a snowman. If I don't do it, no one else will, and he'll never exist. Is Peppermint Patty cold at all? She's wearing shorts and sandals in the frickin' snow. While she's talking about creating her snowman, Marcy says to her, "You're weird, sir." Peppermint Patty and Marcy later attend a performance of Handel's Messiah, with Marcy looking forward to the Hallelujah chorus when the audience stands. But when Marcy joins in, she gets trapped in her seat. At school the next day, Peppermint Patty writes about the play, but neither she nor Marcy knows Handel's first name, so Peppermint Patty just wings it, writing, "It was written by Joe Handel." And just in case anyone is wondering, Handel's full name is George Frederick Handel. I'd give Peppermint Patty a hard time if I hadn't done something like this about Johann Sebastian Bach when I was 10. I thought Bach was his first name. In the next segment, Snoopy plays the role of Santa Claus, ringing his bell on a street corner for charity, with Lucy and Violet complaining. Violet asks if Santa could do something else other than ring a bell, to which Snoopy blows a horn instead, as Lucy walks back that way with Linus. Lucy insists that Linus ignore it, as Snoopy can't do anything to Linus, just as the sound of the horn blows Linus and Lucy away. Lucy insists to Snoopy that he isn't the real Santa Claus, and Snoopy retaliates by blowing his horn in Lucy's face. What gave it away? The dog ears? Sally also questions whether Snoopy is the real Santa Claus. How does she not recognize her own dog? And tries to test him by asking where his helpers are, as Woodstock and his family show up to answer Sally's question. Back at the Brown house, Sally tries to write a theme for her English class on the true meaning of Christmas, but feels that it's only about getting. Charlie insists that it's about the joy of giving, but Sally ignores him, writing, "Christmas is getting all you can get while the getting is good." After finishing that, she begins her Christmas list, but has a hard time remembering how to spell Charlie's name, writing it as Sam. Not even close. She still struggles with what to write, asking Charlie if Santa has any middle initial. One of my teachers in elementary school at one point referred to him as Santa O. Claus, whatever the hell the O stands for, and also wants to include his wife, but doesn't know her name. According to Charlie Brown, Santa's wife's name is Merry Christmas, so Sally decides to write to her, writing, "Dear Merry Christmas, congratulations on deciding to keep your own name." Actually, fun fact, we learned in my English class in high school that Merry Christmas was first used in A Christmas Carol. So when you wish someone a Merry Christmas, you're quoting Charles Dickens. Isn't that neat? Sally goes to Linus instead for advice on how to understand the meaning of Christmas. Of course, as we learned from the classic special, Linus is really an expert at that. But when Linus tries to explain it, Sally interrupts him to rant about how much she hates Christmas shopping. After Linus gives up, Sally continues to complain over the 12 days of Christmas and shuts off the radio, wondering what a calling bird is. Linus answers without any interruption by reading Bible scripture, with only Sally waiting until he is done to change the subject to complain. Meanwhile, Charlie Brown tries to buy a pair of gloves as a Christmas present for his friend Peggy Jean, but he can't afford them. Sally comments she's going to be disappointed when she finds out that her boyfriend is a cheapskate, and suggests that Charlie put it on his credit card. When he answers that he doesn't have a credit card, Sally says, "So long, Peggy Jean." Damn, Sally's got some sass. Maybe we should start calling her Sassy. Linus insists that Peggy Jean will love anything Charlie Brown gives her if she really does love him, but Lucy adds that Peggy Jean will hate him for the rest of her life if he doesn't give her exactly what she wants. Something tells me that when Lucy grows up and gets married, it won't last very long. Lucy suggests that Charlie Brown sell his dog to afford the gloves, but then remarks that he won't be worth that much. My god, Lucy gets meaner every one of these specials. However, Charlie Brown does decide to sell something, his Joe Garagiola signed baseball. But nobody quite understands what he's doing, so he decides to sell his comic books instead. This proves to be much more successful, but before he can buy the gloves for Peggy Jean, Charlie Brown runs into her at the store and she shows him her new pair of gloves, the very ones he was going to buy for her. Charlie Brown, however, does end up buying the gloves for Snoopy instead. With Marcy and Peppermint Patty, Marcy's chosen to play the part of Mary for their school Christmas play, much to Peppermint Patty's dismay, insisting that Marcy isn't right for the part because Mary never wore glasses, with Peppermint Patty playing the role of a sheep. Sally has also been cast in the play in the role of an angel, with her only line being, "Hark," believing that to be a lead-in for Harold Angel to start singing. And Sally takes the line very seriously, fearing that she'll forget her line even though it's just one syllable. Now remember this. Every time Sally goes over her line to Charlie Brown, he's holding a hockey stick. Okay, remember that. Remember the hockey stick. The night of the Christmas play, Peppermint Patty is still stewing over having to play a sheep, constantly complaining about it on the way to the theater. By the time she and Marcy arrive, Peppermint Patty can't remember her lines, with Marcy reminding her that her only line is, "Bah." When Marcy and Franklin arrive on stage for the start of the play, Peppermint Patty bahs over Marcy's line, with Franklin ad-libbing, "I am Gabriel, and I couldn't hear you because of the sheep." In between scenes, Peppermint Patty once again has trouble remembering her lines before Marcy uses her shepherd's crook to pull Peppermint Patty on stage with her. After Marcy recites her line, Peppermint Patty, still unsure of her own, goes, "Woof, meow, moo," whatever, with the audience laughing at her, embarrassing Marcy as she pulls Peppermint Patty off stage. Up next is Sally, but after going over her one word over and over again, she comes on stage saying, "Hockey stick," embarrassing both her and her brother. After Charlie Brown talks on the phone to, I'm gonna assume, either Linus or a family member about Sally's mix-up, the Browns get a visit from Harold Angel looking for Sally. At the Van Pelt's house, Lucy yells at Linus to get out of his beanbag chair, wanting her turn while Linus is watching TV. But instead, Linus looks back at Christmas Day in their house, when Lucy asked, "Why do we only have to be nice to each other on Christmas? Why can't we be nice to each other every day?" After this, Lucy gives up. So that's It's Christmas Time Again, Charlie Brown. Like I said, all of the segments in this special were adapted from the original Peanuts comic strip. I love the Peanuts gang, and I loved this special as a kid. It always makes me laugh, but I feel like the point of the segments kept repeating themselves a bit too much. Although, it did remind me of Christmas Eve on Sesame Street in that the segments were broken up, but I feel like it's a bit unusual for Charlie Brown. What do you guys think? Which Peanuts Christmas special is your favorite? So that's all I've got to say, and I'll see you next week with our last Nostalgia Talk Christmas bonus of the year. See you then.